Yo, what's going on? Delta Neon here, and today I'm doing a tier list on Pokemon Pocket. First we're gonna start with the X's, then we're gonna go to the supports, and last but not least, we're just gonna do every Pokemon that I think is strong in general. So first up on the list we have Venusaur. Venusaur is a solid A tier Pokemon. It could win you games, it's strong, does 100 damage for 4 energy, and it heals itself by 30%. Has the most HP in the game at 190. It could definitely be strong for you. Exeggutor, I would also say is an A tier Pokemon. Pretty strong, lets you set up Venusaur or any other grass type Pokemon that would need you to set up. Does 40 damage consistently, could do 80, has 160 HP. Very, very strong. S tier is going to be Charizard. I wouldn't really consider Charizard a S tier Pokemon, but it is an S tier EX. It is better than these two by a tier, I would say, when compared to other EXs. And the thing that makes Charizard so good is that it is a one-shot of any Pokemon in the game. There's not a single Pokemon in the game that can live it. Even Pokemon like Melmetal that can reduce the damage it takes can't do it. I don't know if there's a Pokemon that could give damage reduction to other Pokemon, but even then Venusaur would be the only one potentially to be able to live it, but it's weak, so it does 220. So I don't think there's anything that could live Charizard's move. Next we have Arcanine, which I would honestly consider a B tier. It has a good damage threshold. It has 120. That could KO a couple of strong Pokemon. Not really many EXs other than Pikachu. With the Giovanni, it can hit some important benchmarks like Starmie and Zapdos, but that is requiring a support to get that done. Next we have Blastoise, which I would also consider a B tier. It does 100 damage consistently for only 3 energy, but to get like the 160 you need 5 energy into it, which unless you get good Misty draws is not gonna happen. So yeah, that's why it's considered a B tier Pokemon. Next up we have Moltres. Moltres is also an S tier. Good HP pool, good I guess first attack. It's more of like a support thing, like an ability. But basically, for 1 energy, you can create up to 3 energy based on coin flips. And if you put 3 energy into Moltres, you could attack, only 2 retreats cost. Pretty solid. It's mainly there for the HP pool. Or maybe, I think we actually should move everybody down a tier, actually. Because the real S tiers are coming up. First up, we got Starmie. Starmie is very strong, very consistent. 130 is a good HP pool. Not many Pokemon can take it out in 1 hit. And a couple of Pokemon struggle to take it out in 2 hits. It does 90 damage, 0 retreat cost. Just 2 energy required to do its attack. So, very, very strong in my opinion. We also have Articuno. Articuno is interesting because it has a good HP pool, and Blizzard could honestly win you games. You could chip Pokemon, they try to switch it out, and you can still hit them with Blizzard. You can't boost the damage of the secondary effect of Blizzard, which is only 10 damage, but 80 is still a good threshold to hit. It can KO a lot of Stage 1 Pokemon right away, and just ruin their game right away if you get Misty right. Next we got Pikachu, which I would honestly say is probably the best EX in the game. It could just win you games right away for only 2 energy. Being able to consistently do 90 damage is very, very strong. Zapdos. Zapdos also falls in this A tier, somewhere between Charizard and Moltres. Not the most consistent. Personally, I'm not a fan, but it does have good HP. You could do big damage if you get coin flips to go your way. So yeah, it's gonna have to be an A tier Pokemon. Next we got Gengar. Obviously bottom tier. It's pretty sad. The main thing holding it back is the fact that it needs 3 energy while being a stage 3. And you may be thinking, well, Charizard's a stage 3, but Charizard one-shots anything. Who else is stage 3 that does that? Like, Blastoise, only 100, and you can see that it's down here. Just the fact that Charizard can one-shot stuff really separates it from these. Gengar does have a very strong ability, but honestly, that's an ability you want early game, not after stage 3. That could take like 10 12 turns to get the stage 3 of Gengar. And then by then, they've probably already used all the supports they need. I mean, not being able to get Sabrina is very strong, but otherwise, it takes too long to get Gengar. Now, this may be controversial, but I actually don't think Mewtwo is an S-tier Pokemon. I think it has an S-tier team, it's an S-tier deck, but Mewtwo itself is just pretty okay. I mean, it has a good HP pool, 150. A lot of Pokemon aren't going to be able to kill it in 2 shots. Pikachu can, Articuno can, Starmie can, but a lot of Pokemon are going to struggle to kill Mewtwo in, at 150 HP here. And potions could just take it out of the 2-hit KO range. 150 is very strong, discards 2 energy, that's fine. When you're running Gardevoir, you don't even feel it. But just 150 is not one-shotting Charizards. It's not one-shotting Executors, Venusaurs, Blastoise. A lot of the common EXs, it's not gonna be able to one-shot. Next we have Machamp. Machamp is probably the best of the worst here. Very consistent. Stage 1, 2, and 3 all require 1, 2, and 3 energy, so you get to attack every turn with it, but honestly, it's not wowing anybody with its 120 damage. 180 HP is actually very strong, but excuse me. But it's not really consistent enough. You need a stage 3 to be able to get there, so it's C tier. Marowak is slightly better. You only need 2 energy. Obviously, it's less consistent, but it can do 160 damage, which is a very good threshold to beat. Let's see. Can one-shot Pikachu, one-shot Articuno, one-shot Starmie, one-shot Mewtwo, one-shot Zapdos, one-shot Moltres, one-shot itself, one-shot Executor. It basically can kill almost every EX if you get the good rolls, so I know it's not the most consistent, but it can be strong. Next up in D tier, we're gonna have Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is good because it is a colorless EX, so it can be ran on literally any deck you want, if you could fit it in there. The main problem holding Wigglytuff back is the fact that it's 3 cost for its attack, and the fact that the current Jigglypuff that we have sucks. There is a better Jigglypuff coming, but yeah, right now, Wigglytuff not in a great spot. And we have a Lapras EX here. I'm not going to rank it because it's not out yet officially. Alright, next we have the supports tier list. This one's going to be a lot quicker. We know Sabrina, S tier, could change games, could win games, swing games. You know what it does. Professor, also S tier. Lets you do stuff faster, you know. There's just no need to explain it. Misty, inconsistent but very strong, could definitely win you a game very easily. Giovanni as well. More consistent than Misty, but pretty situational. And we're gonna have the situational ones here. They could definitely win you games if they're in the correct spot. I guess it's kind of like these are all in the same tier. Maybe not. I'll put it like this, like Koga's impact is way more impactful than these 3. Like, these 3 are very good at what they do, which is supporting their specific Pokemon, but Koga just does it in a better way. You basically take a prize point away from your opponent in a way. They can't KO you, and you get the card back in your hand. That's very strong. And Erica could just heal any grass type back up to 50. That's like insane. There's nothing that can heal you 50 otherwise. Not even 2 potions. Brock gives the energy to Onix. You give your energy to Raichu, Electrode, or Electabuzz, I believe. And you power up Magmar, Ninetales, and Ponyta. If I were to put like the items in this tier list, X-Speed is S tier, Pokeball is S tier. What else is there? Damn, I can't think of anything else. Red Card is honestly noob bait, Pokedex, kind of bad. The Scope is also D tier. All those are kind of D tier. And last but not least, let's go to the Zuimama tier list. This is everything in the game. You could disagree. Just take a look at this. I'll explain a couple things in a second. Let me see if the items are actually here. No, they're not. Weirdly. Weird to omit the items. But here we go. I just named the tiers based on how I feel about the Pokemon. Pretty self-explanatory. S tiers, they're always strong, always useful. But yeah. Whoa, what happened here? Why did it take away my spaces? Okay. S tiers are always strong. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? Next we have B tier, which is very strong, but sometimes can be situational. Misty, you know, you could get tails right away. Erica, you could just not really need it. Like, versus a Charizard, is Erica really gonna help Exeggutor? Not really. Giovanni, sometimes that 10 extra damage isn't gonna do anything. Mewtwo, sometimes it's hard to build up, and you don't get the Gardevoir in time. Pretty self-explanatory. Everything here is pretty situational. I don't know what happened, why all my tiers got built like this, but let me just fix this. I don't know why I clumped all them together when I had it fixed in a way I like. Next we have B tier Pokemon, situationally strong. I feel like that's the best way to put it. These are just very what's the difference between A tier and B tier? These are very strong Pokemon, like, there's no denying it. They're always gonna be strong, but sometimes things could go wrong. These are, most likely things are not gonna go your way, but if they do go your way, they're gonna be very strong. Next we have situationally, like, wait. Let me stop yapping. Slow down a second. These are Pokemon that could win you games if they're in the right spot. Like, if you get Machamp right away and your opponent doesn't get to build up, you will win. If you get 2 heads on Marowak, you will one-shot something most likely. If your Draco Meteor gets to go off, you will win. If Raichu gets its 140 attack, you will probably win. If your opponent is building up a lot, Alakazam can win you the game, so... You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not the most consistent, but they will win you games. And technically, the D tier Pokemon can be stronger than the C tier Pokemon, but they're not going to win you the game themselves. They're just in certain compositions that are very, very strong. And if you're wondering, any Pokemon on this list, I consider to be a good Pokemon. Even the F tier Pokemon. So don't think just because you see a Pokemon like Kangaskhan in F tier, or Farfetch'd in F tier, that means they're bad. It's just... they're not as good, I would say. Just read the name of the tier, right? Next is can be used. Can be used, right? That doesn't mean they're good, but if you get them in the right spot, if you get lucky, they will be good if you build the deck around them. And last is sometimes good, sometimes shit. That just means they're not the most consistent. Like Farfetch'd, a lot of people consider Farfetch'd very good. I'm one of those people. Only 1 energy to get it started, but it doesn't fit in every deck. Like, it's kind of beginner bait in my opinion. Like, it seems strong to get a consistent 40 out, but a lot of Pokemon hit that 60 benchmark pretty consistently, pretty fast. Snorlax kind of is a good tank, but it lets your opponent build up too quick. Meowth, it lets you help you, like, get your cards faster, but being 60 HP and only 10 damage, it could lose you a lot of games. Caterpie obviously can just draw cards for you similar to Meowth, but could get one shot. Kangaskhan has a lot of health, but it's high retreat cost. I feel like all of these are pretty self-explanatory by the name of the tiers. But yeah, tell me if you disagreed. Tell me if there's any Pokemon that I should have put on the tier list that I omitted. I didn't put any stage 1s on there, like strong stage 1s on there, so tell me if I missed anything. But yeah, with that being said, this is going to be Delta Neon out. If you made it to the end, consider subscribing. Peace.